Hey guys, my name is Sher. We are Sandy Sansing Ford Lincoln. Today behind me is a 2020 Ford Expedition King Ranch. Everybody's familiar with the King Ranch trim that Ford does on their F-150s, on the Super Duties. So now Ford is bringing the King Ranch to the Expedition for some people who don't want just a plain old Expedition. They just want to stand out a little bit, maybe wear a cowboy hat, whatever, I don't know. Whatever it is, the interior on the King Ranch is going to be different compared to anything else that Ford offers. So let's go look at this real quick. Before we get to the interior, let me point out some things about the Expedition King Ranch here. Obviously, you have your King Ranch insignia right there on the side, and like you know, all the King Ranches are two-tone normally, unless you delete it out. So Ford went slightly different here. So the two-tone, the stone accent is actually on the bottom here now, all the way to the back. And then there's some on the rear view mirror caps right there, and there's some on the roof. So they went that way instead of painting the whole side two-tone like the Ford usually does. And on the inside of the Expedition King Ranch, and obviously the King Ranch is a top trim, so it's going to have all the features, all the bells and whistles you can add to this here. The interior, and this is the King Ranch interior. So you have the King Ranch insignia here on the armrest, so you have a darker wood trim there. So the difference is, compared to say an F-150 or 250, is that on those Ford uses a Java interior. This is what Ford calls a Del Rios, which is a darker interior, more brown color, where in the F-150 is more of an orange color. So there's the difference there. So this is a pretty loaded up package here. I'm not gonna try to show you everything about it, but just so that you know that it has everything on it. You can get two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. This is the long wheelbase version, which is Ford calls it Expedition Max, which adds about a foot to the cargo room for more interior. Here's an interesting thing about the Expeditions versus the competition. That is, on the Expeditions, you can have it as a bench, or you can have it as a captain's chairs in the second row. If you have a bench or not, you have a child seat right here, and you don't want to remove the child seat so that people can get to the back. All you do is pull this lever right here, and the whole seat moves forward, just like that, and leave the seat on there. Now, I'm gonna climb up to the back of this truck so that you know how much legroom you have in the third row versus anything else, is that because Ford uses an independent rear suspension in the Expedition. So I'm gonna climb up back there now. Okay, so I'm back here now. It's not running, so it's pretty hot out here, but this is where I would usually sit. I am 5'6", 5'7", depending on how hot it is outside. So you have plenty of leg room here. You can recline these seats back. You can sit pretty comfortably. You may have a bench or a captain's chair like this, and you're not cramped. Adults comfortably sit back here. You don't get beat up. It's not a penalty box. And then you probably noticed the panoramic sunroof right there, so it gives you a little open feeling, and you can have a really nice ride back here in the Ford Expedition. Thank you for watching.